But one thing has stayed consistent. Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal.
And good morning. It is the First Federal program for Friday, October 11th, and we welcome Tanner to the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Randy. How are we?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
It's definitely fall weather out this morning.
52 degrees to start today. It's actually the warmest morning that we've had.
Yeah.
There's been mornings when I come in here and it's in the 30s.
Yeah.
So, upper 30s.
That time of year.
Beautiful. I love it.
You know what it's perfect for this time of year, right?
Maybe some chili?
Maybe some chili,
Maybe,
yes. Yes. I'm the type of person, I can eat chili no matter what time of year.
Yeah, see, I'm
sure. It could be 95 out there.
I can't do it. I could probably do it. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
you don't.
I prefer it this time of year.
Sure.
So you're enjoying the cool.
There's going to be plenty of chilies to taste tomorrow as the chili cook-off and red hot car shows going on tomorrow downtown Rochester right here, and we're going to be talking about that in more detail later on, as we're going to have Jillian Smith and Shoda Beehler on to let us know what's going on.
Yeah. We're know all about it. Some changes a little bit. Not big changes,
right?
But some minor changes that hopefully maybe nobody will even notice.
Yeah, a lot of exciting things going on. So.
Yes, looking forward to it.
What's the weather looking like?
Actually, it's going to be in the, let's see what they have updated a little bit. There's a chance of rain, but not till later.
Okay, good.
So it's 77.
77.
So, yeah. Later in the afternoon is the rain predicted, so, and it's only 20%. So that's 80%. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. We're glass half full type people.
That's right. Exactly. So. Today's going to be actually the warmest day of the week.
All right.
So lower 80s.
Yeah. Starting. One more shot.
Maybe another shot.
More weather again, and then we'll get back in that fall weather.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got some trivia this morning, and it is chili related.
Oh.
In what year is chili, as the soup, not the pepper, known to originate?
Ooh.
And I said what year, but it's kind of years.
Okay.
So is it 1550s, the 1650s, the 1750s, or the 1850s?
Wow.
Long time, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah, that's a lot of chili you think about that.
Yeah.
I don't think about that one.
I'll let
that's
you
an interesting question.
Yeah, chili trivia is hard to find.
Yeah,
so I
that's
gotta dig deep to find that one. But got a lot of sports going on. First off, I want to give another congratulations. I know we did this last week, but congratulations to the RHS girls golf team for a remarkable season.
Awesome season. Ended not the way they probably wanted, but if you look at it as a whole, they played well.
Yes, they did.
Friday and Saturday.
They did, and I know a couple of them had maybe rougher start to the rounds than they would have preferred, but they bounced back pretty well from that as the day went on. Because as a golfer, I know when you have a tough first hole or second hole, that can snowball pretty quickly.
Yes, yeah.
And some of the girls turned
and I didn't realize too. We were talking last Friday night football game that they shot 356 on Friday. That was the same score they shot to win third place in the region.
Yeah,
so,
it's just
different.
When
you think about it.
Different field, different competition.
But, so hats off. And then, of course, Olivia Bailey getting all state honors. So congratulations to her and Ava. What a great career.
Yep. And we are going to have head coach Chad Thomas and the girls on in 2 weeks.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. So. And speaking of high school sports, a lot of football, of course, going on. The season's starting to wind down a little bit. A lot of senior nights going on tonight, including right here in Rochester, as Rochester's got a 6-1 record hosting Southwood, who's looking for their first win of the season. They got an 0-7 record. Pre-game same time as usual.
6:35. Kick off at 7.
So come on out to Barnhart Field tonight. Enjoy a beautiful night of football if you don't have anything else going on. Tippecanoe Valley is returning home with a 5-2 record. They were victorious last week. They're hosting Johnny Glenn, who's 1-5. Casting Comments have a record of 2-5. They travel to North Judson, who's 7-0. North Judson's having a heck of a season over there. Winamax 2-4. They host South Central, who's 1-6. And Culver's 1-6, and they host North Miami, who is 5-2. So a lot of good games going on tonight.
Great areas games.
College football. another week where we don't have all the big in-state programs because of buys in action. But I'm sure Indiana's fine with having a bye as they're now ranked 18th. They're 6-0. They're bowl eligible. Things are going well down in Bloomington. So far, so good.
Yeah, I don't think as an IU fan, we're not quite sure how to take this.
Yes,
to be honest.
As a Purdue fan, I'm not sure how to take this with IU doing so well. But that's all right.
What a culture change it's been.
Yeah, for the good. And now I know that some fans, some IU fans are worried, but some fans are thinking, can we keep Coach Siggs after a year? Because there'll be some jobs to open, but I don't know, he's in his 60s. Does he want to make another move that quickly?
It's funny you say that because one of our sister stations out of Kokomo, Fox Sports, those guys are always talking about that, and that was a topic one night I was listening, and that's what they said. They could see him just riding it out, retiring there, and enjoying it. So I hope they're right.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting next year, I think. After a whole year of bringing his staff and his players over too, and then when the portal really opens up, I mean that's what it comes down to anymore. Your portal hits.
Got to be able to do it.
Which I
don't agree with.
No, I still. It rubs me the wrong way. The high school recruiting's not as important now as the portal, but they don't care what I think, Randy. So. Also in state, Purdue looking for just anything at this point. Season is just going off the rails. They're at 1-4. They travel to number 23 Illinois, who's arguably, besides Indiana, they're probably their second biggest football rival since they don't play Notre Dame every year. Illinois is ranked 23rd. They're 4-1 coming off a bye. These coaching staffs know each other very well because a lot of Purdue's coaching staff came over from Illinois a season ago. But Illinois is a 22-point favorite tomorrow. Last time in this series there's been a line that big was Illinois was a 19-point favorite back in 1990.
Wow.
They won that game 34-0. So Purdue's won 15 of the last 19 matchups in this series, including 4 in a row. So they've had good luck in this series, but I'm not holding my breath. And there's a rumor going around the Purdue message boards, and nobody has confirmed or denied it, which scares me even more. Because I've seen this before where there's silence, kind of is a saying where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a rumor that Purdue's starting quarterback Hudson Card is out with injury.
Oh, that's not
so it would not be good. That would be 2 years in a row he's got hurt about the same time during the season. So
interesting.
So we'll see. We'll see. And Ryan Walters didn't really comment on it on the radio show last night, so we'll see. That game's tomorrow at 3:30 on Fox Sports 1. Yeah, Notre Dame back in action. They're moved up to 11th in the polls with their 4-1 record. They're 22.5-point favorites against Stanford tomorrow, who's 2-3. That game's at 3:30 on NBC. I know Notre Dame fans are hoping that this goes better than the last time Stanford visited South Bend 2 years ago. Stanford upset Notre Dame.
You just never know.
No, it's
records don't mean anything anymore.
Well, just look at what happened in college football overall across the landscape last weekend. Everybody's saying that's going to be a boring weekend of games. It was the most exciting weekend we've got. We had 6 top 25 teams lose to unranked teams, including number 1 Alabama.
A lot of movement around.
Yes. And then Ball State, can't forget about Ball State. They are 1-4, but they are 4.5-point favorites at Kent State tomorrow, who's 0-5. That game's at noon on ESPN+.
All right, go Cardinals.
And wrapping up football talk here at NFL, the Chicago Bears are 3-2 now. And they're going to play early Sunday morning at 9:30 on the NFL Network because they're playing in London, giving up one of their home games to play in London against the Jaguars, who play in London every year. And the Jaguars are 1-4, got their first win of the year over the Colts last week. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites in that game. Colts 2-3, but they are 1-point favorites on the road down in Tennessee, who face the Titans, who are 1-3. That game's at 1 o'clock on CBS on Sunday, but you can also listen to it right here on WROI.
Noon pregame, 1 o'clock kickoff.
So,
and then following that, we'll have the IHSA football draw. That's 6 o'clock Sunday.
Perfect.
Right after the Colts.
So what I'm hearing is just tune it in.
Lots of football
noon and just leave it on all throughout Sunday. And then baseball. Baseball season's still going on. It's actually, that time of year is getting really exciting now with the playoffs. We know who's waiting in the National League Championship Series. That's the New York Mets, who are red hot. They're waiting to see who comes out of the NLCS tonight between the Dodgers and Padres. That game's at 8:08 on Fox.
Okay.
So we'll take on the winner of that. I'm sure they're hoping the Padres. Either way, they're going to face a good opponent. And across over in the American League, the Yankees were victorious, knocking out the Royals last night. So they are waiting on the winner of the Tigers-Guardians series, which is at 8:08 tomorrow on Max.
Okay.
So HBO's.
I know a guy here that's probably hoping for the Guardians.
I'm sure you're right.
Detroit's probably.
Yeah, they're hot too.
They are
hot. Interesting. I had forgot till this year that MLB switched up all their formats in the postseason, where it was a 3-game series for the initial wild card, then the 5-game, then the 7. I was thinking it went 3, 7, 7, 7. I don't know why I thought that, but here we are. So, got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1901, Theodore Roosevelt renamed the Executive Mansion as the White House.
Oh, okay.
That was news to me. On this day in 1915, the Ford Motor Company under Henry Ford manufactured their 1 millionth automobile out of their factory in Detroit. I wonder what that number's up to.
Oh, I didn't guess.
Should have done some research on that. On this day in 1979, Boston Celtics guard Chris Ford scored the first ever 3-point basket in the NBA.
Wow.
In the first quarter of a 114-106 win over the Houston Rockets at the Boston Garden. That game also marked the debut of a rookie named Larry Bird.
I think he ended up doing pretty well.
Yeah, pretty good career for himself. And on this day in 1989, you might remember this, Randy. It was a big NFL trade, which you don't see those happen very often during the season. Cowboys running back Herschel Walker was traded from the Cowboys to the Vikings for 5 players and 6 future draft picks, which some of those draft picks included Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland, Kevin Smith, and Darren Woodson. So
I think it worked out.
I think it worked out pretty well for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, NFL, you see some movement in the offseason, but in season you don't see a lot of big trades.
No,
not like
NBA,
MLB, or even hockey.
Yes.
We got some national days, world days, and international days going on today. Today's World Egg Day.
Okay.
National Sausage Pizza Day. You a
like,
fan of sausage on your pizza?
I love sausage pizza.
International Day of the Girl Child. Southern Food Heritage Day. Vet Nurse Day. And It's My Party Day.
Oh, there you go. You have your own party today.
Yeah, maybe with some sausage pizza.
There you go. Perfect.
Upcoming event, of course, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we got the Chili Cook-Off and the Red Hot Car Show going on tomorrow, which we'll be speaking more in detail here in a little bit with Jillian Smith and Shoda Beehler about. But I got an event going on next weekend at Dre's Place in Arlington Public House. They're holding a Dine and Donate event next Sunday, October 20th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Proceeds will be going to Joe's Hope and the Fulton County Animal Adoption and Education Center. This is a free will donation, but cash only. It's dine-in or carry-out and curbside service is available if you want to go that route. Special thanks to the meal sponsor, which for this month's event is the Fulton County Veterinary Clinic, and the egg sponsor, which is Creighton Brothers. So
perfect.
They've been doing this for
several months.
Several months now, going back to April or May, I think, and they go really well. People enjoy them, get good breakfast. So.
Great breakfast.
Yes. Well, the Dow Jones was down a little bit yesterday. It's been up and down, as it always is the last few weeks, but it hasn't been the best week this week for the Dow. But we'll keep our eye on it, as Mr. Dick Belcher used to say.
It'll go up and down.
Yep. Unfortunately, you and I, Randy, can't really control it. So.
No, we don't have a lot of control.
So, but other than that, not a lot of positive money news in my notes, so I'm going to skip the rest of that. But we are open at First Federal today from 8:30 to 5, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. We'd love to see you in one of our 6 branch lobbies. But if you can't make it in, no need to worry. You can always bank with us online and with our mobile app, which is free to download, no matter if you have an iPhone or Android device. Go to the App Store or Google Play Store, type in First Federal Savings Bank or FFSB Rochester. Either one works. Look for the white star in the green background. You're halfway there. And our ATM is open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. And if you're traveling over the weekend, I know it's fall break time. Don't worry if you're in an area that doesn't have a First Federal ATM. We're part of the MoneyPass network, so just go to moneypass.com, type in your zip code. You can find other ATMs that are on that network, and you can use those and you won't get charged a surcharge fee.
Perfect.
We offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. Right now, when you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift, and that free gift is a football-shaped cutting board.
So how appropriate.
Yeah, perfect for your tailgate parties or your watch parties or whatever you're doing on game days. So, and we'll have a new gift here in the next couple weeks that I'll bring in. We offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Zach Reuter at 574-223-1731 for more information on what we offer there. And if you're thinking about retiring, want to start a 401k, check under your 401k, IRA, maybe start a 529 plan for a child or a grandchild or somebody, contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell, our Financial Services Department for more information. Their direct line is 574-223-1705, and Brian will be our guest on our first show in November.
Okay, cool.
And keep up to date with the latest going on at First Federal Savings Bank by liking us on Facebook, following us on X and Instagram at FF Banking as our handle on those two social media platforms. Like us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we're always putting out some new videos on there, including this program right here, the First Federal Radio Show. Streams live every week on Facebook, and we put it up on YouTube as well. So you can go back and see an archive dating back clear to 2018 or 2019. I don't remember off the top of my head. Long time. You can see the transformation of this beautiful studio we're in. So we're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We're FDIC insured and equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
Now we are official.
Now we're legal and ready to move on to the fun part of the program, which we're going to introduce our special guest of the morning, Jillian Smith and Shoda Beehler, who are going to be talking about the chili cook-off and red hot car show. Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess we got another guest too. I forgot.
We do. We have Jordan too.
Jordan too. So, thanks for joining me this morning. So
this is Jordan's debut.
Yeah.
I mean,
first day of work. Thanks
first day of work. All right. I want his role right now. A little nap. But this is the 32nd annual chili cook-off and red hot car show, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yep. 28th car show.
28th car show, 32nd chili cook-off. Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot of years of chili. But what's going on tomorrow? What new things are coming to this year's chili cook-off or red hot car show? I know there's been some changes since we talked last year.
Sure. So we'll talk a little bit about the changes and tell you what's staying the same in some of the additions. So last year, after the car show, the president of the Blacktop Cruisers called and said, "Hey, we've been thinking about this for a couple of years, but we just can't host the car show anymore. But we'd like for the chamber to take that on if they're willing." So we took that to the board and they voted and said, well, we need to continue the tradition. There's too much of an economic impact on Fulton County. We're bringing in about 8,500 people into the county. Rochester's largest single day event. But it's a big deal. We're bringing in a lot of tourists. A few thousand people are coming in from out of town, and so we want to welcome them. They're spending their money here, and as a chamber, we like that.
Sure, absolutely.
So we want to make sure to continue that on. I say that to say we've been working very closely with the cruisers all year. I don't know how many times I call John and Linda Alley and say, what about this, what about that? I think I'm an honorary member of the car club. I've shown up at Rochester Dining several months this year with my notes and pictures and signs and say, what about this, what about that? They've just been a joy to work with, and they have taught us a lot.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that when people come in, for the first couple months of the year, we heard a lot of people say, well, the cruisers aren't hosting it, we don't know how much it's going to change. We really, with the car show, try to keep most things the same. So all of the classes have stayed the same, all of the awards have stayed the same. I think that you might find a little bit differences in the door prizes. We may have purchased a few things that the club didn't, but overall for the show, you hopefully won't see too many changes.
And voting still the same, or changes to voting?
Yeah, for the car show, everything will stay the same.
Correct. Yes, the voting will stay the same. We'll still have our judges, and we'll have our teams of judges going out for each of the car classes, bringing back. So a lot of those processes stayed the same. Jillian and I had a few conversations about that as well, just because my involvement started out in the club as a judge, and then I've transitioned to running the gate, and so we've had a lot of those conversations with logistics and trying to make sure we've covered the bases from all angles. So.
Sure. Now, how many cars are you anticipating about? Roughly.
My guess is, based on experience and not counting last year.
Yeah, right. We'll throw last year.
Yeah, we'll throw last year out. I'm guessing probably pushing 600. That's my guess. Somewhere between 500 and 600, and I think Jillian.
Yeah, we've had about 130 register so far. And most of the registrations come in tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Yes.
So knowing that and what the weather looks like, past experience, we're looking at a few hundred.
That's going to be great.
That's
going to be great. What times everything gets started as far as registration and everything for the car show? What time do the gates open?
The gate opens technically at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Now, again, we just like to remind everybody that there's no courthouse parking. We're still going to be on the street, and so we'll have all of our cars on pavement. And therefore, coming in early isn't going to do you any good to get that spot.
Yeah.
So, but I will be at the gate just in case we do have we know we have people traveling from out of town, and sometimes it's hard to judge that time.
Sure.
So I will be there, but technically the gates open 8 to 11 for registration, and they'll register at the gate, then they come in, and then they'll have to go down to the registration tent and complete the rest of their registration there. We'll get them parked, we'll get everybody in. We do ask that if there is a situation where somebody does have to leave early, they know they need to leave early, to please communicate that to us right out of the gate. No pun intended on that. And
that was good.
It's early. And so therefore we can actually get them put in a position that it's not going to intervene with or cause issues with the Chili teams or with the rest of the show.
Now, one thing I noticed this year on the advertising for the Red Hot Car Show was it is also advertised as a swap meet. Mm-hmm. What is that for some people out there that might not know what the term swap meet is?
That is a great question, and that is one I asked several times this year.
Not swapping cars.
So there's a lot of car vendors. They'll have memorabilia, maybe some car parts, but the people that do attend, they're used to it. They'll go out to swap meets. They might have some collectibles or something fun that they're looking to swap. So we do have a swap meet up at 5th and Main Street. We have a couple of people that will be working up there. It is limited on the number of vendors that are allowed, just given the space that we have here. So first come, first serve. Those gates again open at 8, like everything else, and that is Eastern time. I know we've had a lot of people that we've been talking to.
Good point.
That say, hey, where exactly is this? And I do remind them we are Eastern time. So 8 a.m. Eastern, open, first come, first serve, and then we ask that the vendors shut down by about 4. So they'll be there they can be there all day, and that's at 5th and Main Streets.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you explained that, because I knew a little bit what swap meet meant, but maybe not in all that detail. So, speaking with Jillian and Shoda Beehler this morning about the Chili Cook-Off and Red Hot Car Show going on tomorrow in downtown Rochester. And switching gears to the Chili Cook-Off a little bit, we were speaking about being the 32nd annual. Any changes to the Chili Cook-Off this year?
I think the most exciting one for us is we introduced a new award this year, the Rookie of the Year award.
That's cool.
So, we love our teams, and we have some of the same teams every year, but we want to see, hey, are there any people that may have thought about it but not sure if they can do it? So we thought, we'll incentivize them a little bit. So we are introducing a Rookie of the Year, and that'll have a cash prize. But that's looking at the scores combined of the judges' decisions with the People's Choice with their booth decoration. So if you haven't been to the Chili Cook-Off before, we do have several different classifications for the awards. We have a top secret judge who goes through, judges all of the chilies. They have a rubric that they follow, decide which ones are the best, and it's all blinded. So they're locked up in our office. Safely.
Yes.
They're locked up in our office. We bring them the chili, and they have no idea whose it is. So they'll score those. We also do a People's Choice. So anybody who purchases chili tastings can vote on their favorite chili, and then we also have a contest for the best decorated booth.
And I can speak as someone who was a judge in the past. It's very organized, and like you said, you do not know whose chili you're eating until much later on. So, yeah, very, very nice and organized process there. And I love chili, but after judging it, I didn't want chili for about a month or so. After that was a lot of chili.
Because you're eating a lot of
chili.
Yeah,
it was.
You're trying.
It was 20-some different chilies. I think I had.
Yep.
So, yeah. But you know, the beauty of it is, it's all different. I mean, some spicier than others. Some have more meat. Some don't. So yeah.
Well, you also get in there some people that like to do the white chili.
Exactly.
So I mean, nice variety. That's what's neat for the public too.
Absolutely.
You can come and pick whichever one you want to try.
Do you know? So you may or may not know, I've not been working the last few weeks. So
I don't know why.
I haven't been getting
Jordan.
my sweetheart. So I haven't been getting all the calls. So I have no idea. You know, normally we get, well, is this allowed? Is that allowed? The only thing I know is we have a couple of teams that will have cornbread. Other than that, I don't know any of their secret ingredients. I don't know any of their strategies. So even I'm kind of totally surprised. So it's exciting. Sometimes we have a team that'll make grilled cheese or macaroni to go along with their chili.
Nice pairing.
And that's part of the presentation for the judges as well. I think one year, and this team is returning the Three Kings, they had stuffed jalapeno peppers.
Oh.
So there's really all types out there.
How many teams do we have?
We have 14 teams this year. And for anyone that hasn't been to the chili cook-off before, if you're wondering how do I get there, how do I participate, do I have a minute to explain?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So all of the chili teams will be at the 800 block of Main Street. If you're not familiar with that, that is on Main Street, right next to the courthouse. So all of the teams will be right in front of the courthouse. You'll see all of their tents set up. There's 14 of them. Come to the corner of 8th and Main. It's right across from Renew Health Chiropractic. That's where you can purchase your chili tasting tickets. It's cash only, so make sure you have some cash with you. $5 and $10 increments. So I'll recommend that you get a $10 card and a $5 card so you can try all of the chili. And then you can also use your tasting card to purchase pop, water, and hot dogs from the Chamber's hot dog stand. So, you know, if you have a couple extra punches or something like that. So, anyways, you're going to buy these cards, and then you can go to the booth of your choice, or all 14 of them, and they'll give you a cup of chili in exchange for a punch on your tasting card.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I think it's a great process, and I recommend trying as many as you can.
Yeah. We try to.
Yeah.
You know, the neat part about it is you always want to try the ones that have the longest line, because that usually means it's pretty good.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign that
something's going on there.
Yeah, something good is happening there. Yeah. So, but you do have to kind of do, because they do put their ingredients and everything up too. So you want to check that to make sure for
food allergies.
For food allergies, or if you're not a real spicy person, you don't want to set your taste buds off too early in the morning for that.
Avoid those jalapeno poppers.
Yes. Yeah.
I do have a question. And speaking of logistics, do you mind if I kind of talk a little bit about the gate? Okay. So it's the same process as we've had in years past as far as coming in. If you're bringing a show car coming in, we are going to be set up on East 8th Street. So you'll come in off of Monroe or off of Race Street. So you're going to come in from the east side of downtown. And you'll come in on, and I'll have different lines. So I'll have a line for pre-registered. We'll have some gentlemen at the end there at the corner of Monroe and 8th Street directing traffic as best we can. Just be patient. And so we'll have lines coming in if you're paying cash at the gate, and then we'll have our pre-registered line as well. And you'll just come in, we'll get you down, we'll send you down to the guys that are parking, so always look for the safety vests. And that's one of those, anybody who's in a safety vest, including my team, that way we're visible, and we'll all have obviously our car shows t-shirts.
Because it'll be dark.
It will be. When we get started, it'll be dark for a little while. And so we've got, but we'll bring in, and because of the weather, I know sometimes traffic can get backed up. We're also going to have our signs out. So we'll put directional signs out on Main Street, 9th Street, to try to direct show cars. So look for those signs. And if you know anybody coming in from out of town, you might want to just give them kind of a little guidance on how to maneuver through to get, so they don't get stuck.
Right.
Last couple of years, we've had a couple of Amazon drivers, a couple of FedEx trucks, and they like to go through my gate, and I have to stop them. But the other thing, too, that I do want to remind everybody is the alleyway that runs between 9th Street and 7th Street behind Flagstar Bank. We will have that alley closed at 8th Street, so you will not be able to pass through. We've had a couple of instances where it was a little concerning, people trying to cross there and potential damage to show cars, and so we do ask that you avoid that alley. Plus, we use it if somebody gets entangled up into our line, and we use that as an exit route for them. So,
and Shoda, you bring up a good point, because we always have people that ask, well, or say to us, well, why is it this way, or you should do this instead? Because it's the 28th car show, it's the 32nd chili cook-off. I think just about everything's been tried and tested, and we try to keep everybody safe. Yeah. That's our main goal. Yeah, we want to have fun. We want to enjoy as many cars and chili tastings as possible, but we ultimately want to make sure that everybody is safe. And so you're going to see some road closures. There's going to be some rules, and there's going to be some people enforcing those rules. So it's really for your safety. We want everyone. We're bringing thousands of people downtown. We want to make sure that it's good fun for everybody.
Absolutely, for sure.
And a reminder too: if you're on Jefferson Street, if you're a local person trying to get around for the day, just be patient. You might want to avoid Jefferson Street just because it's the one way. It's very crowded, people parking in that. Try to maybe go down to Fulton Avenue where it's a little easier to get through town for those that don't want to be downtown.
Right,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, and they have, and I would say kind of if you're trying to, 4th Street's another, if you want to go to the east side of town and take 25 down 4th Street and come around to the other side, just for those that are local, or, 18th Street, try to go to either end of the town just to get across.
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to give you a chance to give a shout out to any sponsors, anybody, for tomorrow's events.
Sure. Well, truth be told, I can't recognize everybody.
Right.
We have about 50 sponsors. We have about 100 volunteers. It
takes a whole team.
It really does take a whole team. So, before I say too many names and then I forget somebody, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's working behind the scenes, everybody who will be working day up to make this possible. A huge shout out to RTC Fiber Communications for sponsoring the entire chili cook-off, and to Shepherd Chevrolet GMC for sponsoring the Red Hot Car Show. Without them, this is not possible. Also to Fulton County Tourism Commission, Fulton County REMC, Outlaw Services, and Rochester Metal Products. They have put in a lot of resources and support for us, and so huge thank you to all of those companies.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, ladies, for joining me this morning, and thank you for everything you do for both the Chili Cook-Off and Red Hot Car Show, and good luck tomorrow, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event.
It's going to be a fantastic day.
Awesome day.
All right, Randy, you've had all show to think about the trivia question.
Chili.
And you ladies can participate in this as well if you'd like. In what year is chili, as we now know it, as the soup, what year did it originate? Was it the 1550s, 1650s, 1750s, or 1850s?
Which one are you going with?
I'm going to go C.
C? 1750s?
1750s.
I was with Randy on that one, yeah.
Jillian?
I said 1650s.
1650s? Actually, the 1850s.
Oh, I knew I should have went with the gut.
Yes. So,
it's still a long time.
Still a long time. Still a lot of years of different recipes and trying to perfect it.
So did it say how it started?
Yeah, it just said chili as we know it today, or a specific variety of chili, was first introduced, popularized during this time period. I don't know.
Because my wonder mind goes to, I wonder why somebody thought, let's throw all this in a pot, cook it up.
Yeah,
and
it's probably an accident. Some sort of,
kitchen accident, and that got mixed with this, and now we go.
That's how some things happen, isn't it?
Well, we'll close today's program with some words of wisdom from Lou Holtz, who was a legendary college football coach at many stops, but especially at Notre Dame. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you very much. Tanner, thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
Talk again next Friday.
We'll be here. Thank you.
With those words of wisdom, this has been the First Federal Program. Join us every